Everything was going wrong earlier today. Everything. It's There's a lot of deathcraft. They're killing lots of stuff all the time just to drive people insane. I see it. I tried to warn them. They called me crazy. They blamed the kitty killing on me. I don't know. Can't take justice even into my own hands. Cats and hens and chickens and geese and women and children. Um, just to drive you batshit insane for a few hours. Anyway, all that blood you'll have to drink in your afterlife, Damien. Speaking of Damien, yes, Damien Rosenberg or Rothschild, or all of the other Rose worlds. Hey, detective, I think you're looking for a John. Not John Whelan. I think you're looking for a John in Newtown. I'll just take that there now. I'll just take that for myself. I'm the John in Newtown. Anyway, he killed me many times. Nobody really talks about it. Many, many times he's recently been revealed as an absolute psychopathic, very dangerous person. Very, very, very lethal, dangerous person. His little brown pee fell off. I was thinking this recently about Hannibal Lecter. I'm watching loads of Hannibal lately. I reckon Hannibal had no dick. I reckon Hannibal. Can nobody really realize that in all the psychological evaluations? Well, they probably would have done it. You know, I suppose they would have studied his body when he was arrested or something. But I reckon Hannibal. What makes a person do these things? What makes a person drown kids and murder kids freely for £6 in the hand? Like in Banshees of Inisherin, it's kind of based on John Williams. Like, £6 in the hand isn't that interesting to me to kill somebody. But if you had no dick, if you had no, like, psychologically, I'm dealing with Hannibal Lecter or John Whelan, if he had, he'd sit around horsing loads of food and steak and pints into him and crack, and I heard his bedroom's a fucking storehouse. Yeah, that's probably what makes a man turn to these things, drowning kids for cash or murdering lads with their healthy genitals and all their virility. People who have dirty little rotten brown peepees that fell off. And they couldn't bring in direct attention of the Banshees of Inisherin is based on that lad. My murderer. My murderer. I think I'm allowed to talk about it because it's not exactly public info. It's personal. It's very private. It's my privacy. It's my personal business. He's killed me a few times now. Made me homeless, got me sectioned, defamated me. He's been recently busted and filmed on tape or something, beating kids to a pulp or getting bed up himself, and delighted about that because now I might have a case because he just called me insane, had me sectioned as criminally insane, and so there might be some persuasion with the ombudsman and your GSOC, and they're all the same. The way they're supposed to be separate businesses, they're not. They're all the same. Garda Corruption Line, Ombudsman, GSOC, they're all just the guards. Don't talk to anyone. Talk to a solicitor. I'd never talk to a solicitor. Just don't talk to any of them. They're all one big team. They're all fucking rotten kitty killing folks. Anyway, this is my point for all you detectives in Ireland. Detectives who can't like self-regulate. You don't need to be a Cub Scout, but you ought to do a bit of self-regulation. Pigs. Sorry, actually, a pig is rather graceful in its own capacities and potentials in relation to its morality and its apparent morality and volitions in life. Don't mean to offend pigs. I wouldn't do that. I like pigs. They're cute. I'm gonna give my little piggy a cuddle. Yeah, so and this is for the detectives. Hey, detectives, you're looking for a genius freaking celibate angel in waiting. And the Rose World and Rosenberg and the Gardaí and the police and the Mahan boys. Yes, the Mahan boys. See, I was discovered by the Mahan boys, who are some orphan army. They're the orphans of police. They don't know that. They're not smart enough to know that. They were just told that they had no fathers, or their fathers were travelers. And I don't need to offend a traveler, but you know what I mean. Definitely don't want to offend a traveler, but these guards do travel around impregnating women just to get loads of cash off the government and build their own little orphan armies that run around dealing all their crack and selling all their crack for them. Yeah, detectives, the best detectives in Europe. So anyway, this is from me, John. I'd never be a pig, just to let you know, guys. I could be the best psychic, the best detective, but I'd never work for the pigs. You know, I'd never be a pig. Never. I think I could be a detective to save lives, but then I couldn't see any of the stuff, you know. I get sick, man. I'd puke my ring. Seeing all the I was watching Seven and stuff like this and the case files and it's like, nah, I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. I'd love to do it. Motivated and then I was like, nah, fuck that. I don't want to look at that. Can I stop being Wigan? Pardon me. You can't help it, I suppose. You can turn off your. So yes, this is for the best detectives in Europe. That's actually not a double quote, it's a single quote. The best detectives in Europe. Ireland, yeah. So these Mahon boys have like Gardaí dads and Gardaí uncles, and his uncle, that's probably your dad, yeah. My uncle, I'm your step uncle, yeah, that's probably actually your dad, who knocked up some prostitute and building his little Irish army. Down on Lady Lane, you know, that's where they busted me, that's where they found me, discovered me. And I thought I was living next door to a men's hostel, which turns out to just be some Garda sanctuary for, you know, the relief. So they run this heroin or crack brothel and it's Garda. In a rotten republic, you'll see a lot of this. And we live, Mr. Donald Trump, in the most rotten Ireland, the most rotten republic. Breeze, Doge. I'm gonna go wave Doge flags. Bring Doge. We want Doge. We want a minister for internal affairs. We want Doge. We want Doge. Make the government be as perfect as fucking possible. And Trump doesn't mind. He's like, well, let's surf along with it. And I'll be the perfect. So he just got on top of it instead of making it like, you know, his opposition's like, oh, but I'll be fucked, Simon. Oh, Jesus, they know about everything. But Trump's like, yeah, Doge. Yeah, fucking A. Make this as perfect as possible. Because you're worried about being busted, Simon, aren't you? I think Simon likes a doobie, lads. Simon likes a doobie. That's white as cocaine and all that girls. Anyway, this is for the best detectives. I always keep going back. And this is for the best detectives in Europe. Hey, detective, you're looking for a John. I said the Mahon, yeah. Do you think the Mahon boys are the IRA or Sinn Féin or the people that they contacted? They claim to be power monkeys, enlightened or celibate, but doubtfully celibate, but they probably try and find some celibate to act celibate. Higgins claims to be the celibate, but I know he's not. He has girls in taxis. Or definitely at least one. Remember, I revised the situation. I can do this, but I don't like to do this. Or revised the situation. No, I'm old. You don't need to do that today. But still, at the same time, you're not celibate. Celibates will have no will for sex whatsoever. Wouldn't mind a cuddle. You know, Simon Amstel wouldn't mind a cuddle. But not cuddling, boys. No. Cuddling, well, my fucking trees. Or my nephew, actually. I wouldn't cuddle my nephew. To throw him around like Spider-Man. He's getting big, you know, and because I do Spidey-Man skills on the walls, I throw him up there to let him feel like it's no, like, it'd be so cool as a kid to know what it's like to stick to a wall and then jump. You need web, and he shoots a web. Oh, you're gonna go this way. And I was actually teaching him how to Spidey sling, and one side to the other side, and to the other side, and wall stick. You know, it's getting fucking big, man. I'm vegan, you know. Oh yeah, sorry, I was like the best detectives in I have no memory, so you could actually fucking put this on a stage and try to make one point and just ramble on for ages and I never actually get to the point. The best detectives in Europe. Yeah, this is the point I was supposed to make, and the point I kind of made earlier on when we butchered it. Do you think, anyway, these Rothschilds that have gentrified your country, Mr. Paddy, Detective Paddy Dix, as they say in Seven, do you think these Rosenbergs, Rothschilds, or even these Mahon boys would freely openly share their birthrights if it was theirs? This is the point I'm trying to make. Do you think Derek Rockefeller wanted to come to Ireland to share his divine or magical birthright with the Irish? If you just didn't question this, kind of like, you don't think he'd, I don't know, go anywhere, I don't know, take over the thing. Do you not think these very selfish man boys and gangsters and criminals, do you not think it's questionable that they want to share their holy enlightenment and their potential with the general public, or with everybody, with rich people? You know, they'd be like, no, it's ours. We're in charge. If they were, Paddy's army. And the rich people were like, why would I bring my sacred, divine, holy, psychic birthright to Ireland and share it with the IRA, Sinn Féin, and loads of fucking crackheads and yobs and gums from the government and corrupt police of Ireland, of all places? Do you not think it's a little, detectives, questionable, the fact that they're freely, what do, it can be criminal psychology. If I accidentally, or if I somewhat stole too much money, I'd be giving it all away. If I accidentally stole or acquired, as Gardaí do, or at the beginning of American Gangsters, acquired too much money, you'd probably be giving it all away, man. You'd be throwing it away. You'd be trying to get rid of it. That's what they're doing. And get more people involved. And once everybody's involved, it's harder to ascertain who it actually is. They wouldn't give it away. Anyway, I think I made my point better. The first video I made earlier on when I cut out. They divided it up. They suddenly became democratic about their birthrights. And they divided it up to be everybody gets a fair share. It's like, oh yes, everybody's, oh, that is fair. Damien Rosenberg, Damien Rothschild, coming over to share his family's birthright with the Irish, and everybody gets a fair share. Oh, yeah, that is fair. Detectives, when you steal something, usually in the beginning of Dark Knight, you divide it up. Everybody gets a fair share. It's stolen. So what I'm saying, it's stolen. They wouldn't give their own birthrights away. They wouldn't sell their own grannies. Well, actually, they're the Irish and they're the Illuminati, so they probably would sell their own grannies. I'm not for sale. I don't believe in sale. Yeah, they're sharing stolen goods. Obviously, detectives. Why would Rosenberg or Rothschild or Rockefeller freely give or share their birthrights with you? Why would the dirty, grubby IRA, wannabe, pseudo, crappy fucking crackhead want to share their somewhat sacred, divine, ancient Irish rosary and with rich people and not heavily tax them when it's the other way around? The rich people are getting more. So why would they just give it away? Because they don't have jack shit. They have nothing. They're a bunch of thieves dividing up my family's birthright. I'm going to smoke some so-called recreational drugs and go skateboarding. Tom Penny.